My name is Mark Easter. I'm a Mutual UFO Network certified field investigator, and I have a case that's come across my desk that deserves attention, and we're going to talk about this now. This video was shot by a gentleman by the name of William Ganley. He was at work when this video happened. The event happened. And I'm going to share the screen with you here and let you look at the video first. And this video is strictly just right out of the camera. He sent this to me, so there is nothing that's been done to this video. It's as you see it out of the camera. So take a look at this video. And he is out working in the Sierra Nevada mountain range and was on a break and saw this. So he grabbed his camera and started videotaping it. The noise that you hear, that is the background sound of a snowcat. He drives a snowplow for a living. So he said that there was no sound at all, and he had to move to keep videotaping this. So now it's in front of that mountain and behind the trees. And it keeps going. And that's it. So I'd like to introduce to you Mr. William Ganley. William, and I'm going to call you Bill. That's okay?
That's fine, Mark.
Okay, Bill, I want you we're just going to talk about your sighting. You saw it playback just now, correct?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So I want to be able to start with this interview to not just to find out what you saw, but I need to know, and whoever's watching this wants to know more about you and your background. So we're going to start with that. So tell me, Bill, if you don't mind, how old are you?
46.
46. Okay. Let's talk about your work and what put you where you witnessed this. So what do you do?
A snowcat operator for
And you don't have to say the name of the company, but it's a
right,
uh,
a snowmobile adventure um, company.
gotcha. So what do you groom the trails for people that ride snowmobiles and stuff like that?
Yes,
Okay. All right.
scenic tours.
Gotcha. How long have you been doing that?
This is the first season for doing this. I've been in the ski industry for 20 plus years,
Okay.
just
Well,
grooming.
I think it's a cool job. Sounds like it. So you what? You drive a snowcat, a snowplow, and just groom trails, pretty much.
Yes,
Do you
basically.
do you work with somebody, or are you alone when you go out and do this?
Well, that night I was alone. It was my coworker's nights off, so I was out there by myself. But 4 nights of the week, there's two of us out there.
Okay, but that particular night it was just you. So literally, how alone are you? How far are you out doing this?
The furthest I go out is probably, I don't know, probably 15 miles
Okay, so
away from the base, which is already, pretty far out there itself. So
gotcha.
I'm
Okay.
out there.
Okay, so you've been in the snow industry. I mean, Northern Nevada and California. I mean, that's part of our industry is tourist industry is skiing. So it's
Yeah.
a great industry to work for. So okay, let's. I want to talk about an hour before this happened. Okay, but first, have you ever seen a UFO before? What you would call a UFO or anything anomalous like this in your 46 years?
I I mean, I've had times where I've been like, "Whoa, that's weird," but who knows? It could have been a plane or whatever.
Right,
But
right,
no,
right.
to answer your question, no, I haven't.
Okay, very good. So, okay, let's take it up to an hour before you're going to work. What were you doing at that point in time?
An hour before I witnessed this.
Before you got in the snowplow and
Oh,
started
okay.
started your
Well,
job.
I was preparing for the night because there was going to be a significant storm coming in. So it was, just making sure I had all the right supplies, my satellite phone, because if I break down out there, there's no service at a lot of the points. So
Gotcha.
basically just getting ready for what could be a pretty hectic night.
All right. So now you're getting ready for work. You hop in the snowplow and you go to work. So how far did you drive from base camp, what you would call base camp, to where what you say that you had parked to for a snack, a sandwich, or something during like lunch hour or something? Explain that to me.
Yeah, I was just got to I would say I was about 5, 6 miles into the trail, and I pulled into an area where it's kind of like an offshoot of, we just put in a couple other trails in what's called Faith Valley.
Okay.
Uh, and I stopped and got out to stretch, have a snack. It was close. I don't know, it was around 7 o'clock, and you could see the storm coming in, but obviously by the
Right, and
video,
it's daylight savings time by then
yeah,
because
I'm pretty sure it was a Sunday.
yeah, I
It
think
was
Sunday.
a Sunday.
So it is daylight savings time because that makes a difference, in shooting wise with the lighting. So you still
Yeah, it would have
had
been dark.
daylight from the
Yeah,
looks of the video, right?
yeah.
Okay. All right. So I tell you what. So we've come up to the point where this actually happened. So what? You're out of the vehicle.
Yep.
We can hear it idling. So you're out of the vehicle. How far are you away from it?
I don't know, 10 feet or so.
Okay. All right. So still close to it.
Yeah.
And so what? You were just eating a sandwich or something? What exactly was happening at that moment when you first saw it?
I was basically just out at that point. Like I said, I stretched a little bit and was just watching the storm, seeing where it was coming in. It was
Mm-hmm.
coming in from the northwest, kind of where I saw the whatever it was. And just hanging out and walking back to the cat, I just happened to look up at the horizon, and I was like, "What is that? That's a huge bird." Or, I don't know. And I busted the camera out and started filming, and I watched it mostly with my eyes. Once I zoomed in on it, I kind of
Mm-hmm.
was watching it more with my eyes, and I was like, "That's not a bird. It's not a plane or a helicopter," because there was no sound, as
Mm-hmm.
you can hear in the video. And I would say I was about half a mile to a mile away from it. So I'm pretty sure I would have heard an engine or a propeller or whatever. And then I really started to get curious, and I noticed that it couldn't have been a paraglider. It was way too windy. Um,
What do you guess the wind was? That's
I
going to
would
make a difference,
I would say close to 35, 40 miles an hour, maybe even more up where
right? Because it's a higher elevation. About how high is that elevation wise?
that elevation right there. Let me see. I have it right here. Elevation. It's about 7,600 feet.
Yeah, so you're up there. I mean, the wind's going to
Yeah.
howl up there, and so the storm was coming, so it's pushing in. So
Yeah.
you're guessing about 30 mile per hour wind. So
Yeah.
was it tailwind? Now that'll make a difference. So we're going to go back and look at this video again. But
Mhm.
was the wind pushing, or was it flying into the wind? You
I
follow
think
what
it's
I'm
like a
saying?
for the object. I would say it would have been a crosswind because the storm was coming from the northwest, and where the object was coming from was, I would say, the west.
Okay. Okay. Now
So,
we're gonna get into Google Earth here momentarily and start
mhm,
pointing that out because that's important. I want to know which direction exactly it came from and which direction it was going. We're going to figure that out. So I tell you what. Okay.
okay,
So you're having your sandwich, and I'm going to play the video again now. I'll share the screen.
okay.
Give me a second here, and we'll look at it one more time. All right, so here we go. So I want you to start narrating right now. You talk to me.
Okay, yeah, this is when obviously I just noticed it and grabbed my camera, and I was like, once again, I was like, that is a huge bird. And I'm like, no, that's not a bird. And I noticed it was waved like really. I almost thought it was a guy on like a jetpack or something because that's what it
Why? Tell me why. That's important. Why do you
because with the
and
naked
with your
eye it was
wait, naked eye. Tell me, it's this is important. With your naked eye, that's what you thought you saw?
yeah, it was like because it was almost circling and then it would go straight for a little bit, then it would kind of circle and like turn backwards and then go straight again and then kind of do this number, and I was
Okay,
like,
well,
what?
I'm not seeing your hands at this moment. We're going to go back and talk about that. So just keep going, narrating
Okay.
what you're seeing as it's
And he,
happening.
about this point I get really creeped out and I'm like, that's not a plane, that's not a helicopter, what is it? And um I got the chills and was really baffled at what I was seeing.
It looked to me like it's going away from you, correct?
Yeah, right there it's heading towards Nevada,
Okay.
so east.
All right. So was this in Nevada or California?
California. At that point right there, I am probably 10 miles into California from Nevada border,
Okay.
like
All
near
right.
Gardnersville.
How about if we share Google Earth? Are you ready? I tell you, I'll do it first,
Okay.
and I'll put up Google Earth, and this will be where exactly you saw it. So just let me get to Google Earth here. We've determined now that you came down from the north
Yes.
and stopped at this rest area here, this
Yep.
general area here. Okay. So
Yep.
knowing that, and so you're somewhere within this area here, and you got out of your snowplow to have a sandwich. And
Mhm.
were you, so this is west, this is
Yep.
east. So what direction were you looking at when you saw that? Directly
West.
west? So
I would
standing,
say northwest.
okay, so kind of that direction.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly like
Uh,
that.
all right, so knowing that, we're going to back out here now. So you were looking in that direction and seeing it, from what I gather, flying in this direction. Is that correct?
Yes.
So
Exactly.
from the southwest headed northeast.
Yes.
Does that make sense to you?
That totally makes sense.
Okay, and that makes a difference in what we're talking about here. So basically, you had trees in the foreground. At what point did you pick it up? If you're looking this way, did you see it out here going, or did you see it? It was in an open area at the beginning, right?
Yeah, right about where maybe a little bit more to the north is where I got eyes on it,
Okay, and
somewhere in
that
there.
where
And then if
and with
you
my pointer pointing here, somewhere within this area here.
yeah, and if you go to the west just a tad bit more, I would say it was just over that small. You wouldn't call that a mountain. It's more like a little small hill range kind of
Yeah,
thing.
this right here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was right above that.
and headed this way.
Yep.
And it ends up going in front of larger mountains. So what?
See the
So
snow? See the snow on the top of the
yeah,
right
yeah,
there? That's that big mountain it goes in front of.
gotcha. Okay, all right, and but it wasn't going this direction. You sensed it was going that direction,
Just like
correct?
that.
All
Yep.
right, all right, all right, and I'll map that out later. But it's important, because again, you were, from what I gather, in the middle of it going from one place to another. For
Yeah.
it didn't stop. It just kept going in a fluid motion in that direction. Okay, so
At,
let's.
at, at one point, I mean, if when I zoomed in on my camera, it almost looks like it slows down for a second and then takes off again. It doesn't go to a
Right.
complete stop, but it kind
Okay.
of slowed down a little bit.
All right. What we're going to do, I'm going to play the video
Hmm.
again, and I want you to narrate again. All right, as you see, and point out to me this is where, because it's hard to tell unless you have a lockdown camera on a tripod and just let the action move in front of it. If you're
Hmm.
moving with it, it's hard to tell
Right.
that it slowed down or whatever, because you are doing this motion at the same time. But
Hmm.
but you can tell, because again, you said that you ended up looking over the top of it and seeing it as it went. So we're gonna go ahead. Let me call up the video again. All right, so I'm going to play it, and now again, uh, if you left out anything or whatever, if it's coming to you, but explain. It was about here that it kind of did different movements. Okay, so stand by. Here it is. Just tell me what you saw.
Um, yes, that's when I obviously noticed it, and it was moving at a pretty rapid pace, as you could see.
Yeah.
Nothing really flapping around, like a tarp or something, and um, that's when I was really like, this is not of this planet. And coming into this is when it kind of the oblong shape kind of leans forward. See it leaning forward, and it goes
Mm-hmm.
back,
I know
and
what you're
then
talking about.
right in here, it almost looks like it turns around and like it does something, like does a
Okay, now
360.
let me stop you. And this is where you're looking with naked eye over the
Yes.
top of the camera. Okay, keep
Yep.
talking.
And then right there, it really planed out forward, and you can't see behind the tree, obviously, but it kind of went back to normal, like an oblong shape, straight up
Mm-hmm.
and down, and then it would tilt forward again in there, um, and then with the naked eye at this point, it kind of got out of. I couldn't really tell what it was doing. Obviously, at the beginning of the video, you could it was closer.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it was headed a little bit away from you. You weren't looking at
Yeah.
it directly perpendicular or whatever, or parallel. Okay, so let's go back to before you picked up the camera. All right. How many seconds was it from the point that you first saw it to the point I got to pull up my camera? Count. I want you to think in your mind. How many
Mm,
seconds?
I would say 30 seconds,
Okay.
probably.
That's a long time. So
Yeah.
in that 30 seconds, I want your description. Not after you picked up the camera, your
Right.
first, because that means it was the closest to you if it was going kind of away from you.
Yeah.
However, so what would your brain hits it, and what's the first thing you're thinking of and seeing with your eyes?
Once again, I was like, wow, that's a huge bird because I didn't hear anything, no propellers or jet
Right.
sounds, plane sounds.
And no point did you see wings flapping or anything like that, right?
No,
Okay.
it wasn't a bird. It would have had to, if it was a bird, it would have been the size of a Cessna. It was big.
Okay. Tell
Um,
us again how far, because you're familiar with the range. You're
uh,
familiar now with the sighting and where you were. Approximately how far was it away from you?
I would say half a mile at the least, and maybe a mile at the most. I don't
Okay.
think it was a mile. I would say probably a half mile.
Okay. All right. So let's. Here's one of the things we do in investigations for a witness. Do me a favor, and you got a picture in your mind now. You don't have it in front of you, but you have the impression. I want you to look in your mind and reach your hand out. I got to find my hand here, and imagine you're grabbing it with your arm all the way out. stretched out and
Hmm.
grabbing it, what size would it be? Would it be the size of a pea to larger to a penny, a quarter, whatever? So just so and stick your arm all straight out and imagine, and then you tell me, is it, I'm guessing about the size of a pea or larger,
Yeah,
larger than a pea.
yeah, somewhere in there. If I mean, I don't know if that helps or
So like
whatever.
between a pea and the size of a penny, kind of in
Smaller
between.
than a penny. Smaller than a penny.
Okay, so cause that helps. 'Cause
It'd
while we're
almost be
trying.
like a Tylenol, like an oblong Tylenol.
Okay, all right, all right. We can use that because that helps. We can triangulate and
Uh-huh.
figure out at that distance it was that size at arm length. We can figure kind of the size of it. So we'll leave it with
Right.
that for now. But that's what you kind of figured was a little smaller than a penny.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so move on. So no sound.
No sound.
For 30 seconds you're just looking at it, trying to figure out what it is, and at that point I got to get my camera.
Yeah, and that's why I did, because a lot of times we'll see helicopters out there, like if
Mm-hmm.
there's a rescue or blah blah blah, they're fixing power lines or doing something,
Mm-hmm.
Um, so right off the bat, I knew it wasn't something that was propelled. So um, I was, like in that 30 seconds, once again, that's a huge bird. And then I was like, there's no way that could be a bird. And then I was like, this is weird. I need to and then that's when I grabbed the phone.
Okay. All right.
And
So before you grab the phone in that 30 seconds and beyond, so think of the whole thing, not just sight, but sound. You have said that you didn't hear a sound that it was making, so it was silent. But was there any other sounds? Was there lack of sound? You follow
it
what I'm
was,
saying? That
yeah, it was,
because like there can be, God, there were dogs barking, then all of a sudden
there
they
was
weren't
this,
barking anymore. Everything went silent. Everything went silent.
right.
There's been witnesses who say that. So I just want you to think about it. Was there any different? Because you're used to being up there,
Right.
in high winds and whatever. Was there anything missing?
You know what it is weird is windy as it was, and the sound of the snowcat idling.
Mm-hmm.
There was, now that I think about it, there was almost like not calm, but it got, like, I don't know, something changed there for a second. Like you could see in the video when I go through the trees how windy it was. And
Yeah.
um,
And I'm not trying to plant something in your mind. That's not what
no, no,
I'm
no,
not
no.
leading you. I just,
When you when you brought the question up, it snapped to me. I just remember when I was filming, like it almost got like not peaceful, but like mellowed out for a second,
Okay.
as it was going in front of me.
Okay. And we're not going to tie anything to it, but I
Right.
just any little bits and pieces help.
But
Okay.
sound wise, that's all I heard was the idling snowcat and the wind blowing through the trees.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to say again that I'm in a valley. So if there was anything coming off of the object, I would have heard it. It would have echoed. It would have been really loud.
Gotcha.
You know?
Okay. All right. Let's move to the object. Okay. And there's a difference between what the naked eye sees, that first 30 seconds, okay, and what electronics see when you shoot, okay? There is a difference, all right? Electronics is electronics. Your impression was first that it was like you said, like a guy in a jetpack, then you realized it was more oblong in the shape, okay?
Yes.
Well, here's what I've done. And let me call it up here. Just give me a second. See if I can find this here. I'll have to share screen, so bear with me. So let me just set it up here.
Okay.
I took your video that you sent. I dropped it into my editor. Okay. I didn't put any effects on it. No smear it on to make it look better. Nothing like that. I just put the video into my editor and zoomed in on it because it's small in your picture in the phone video.
Right.
It's small, right? It's that size small in your video. So
Hmm.
I zoomed it into that small image so that I could see exactly what you're seeing, okay, as per what the video is showing. So I'm going to show, I've got a comparison video or a still picture here of what you physically saw, and I did some adjustments, and you got a side-by-side comparison. So let me go find that right quick here. Can you see that?
Yes, it's a little blurry, but I'm sure that's just because
Well,
it.
it is, but you can see it says William Granley UFO event on top, right? So you see these
Yes.
two pictures side by side. It
Yep.
is blurry. Okay, so you got to know that. So here's where I want you to give me an explanation of. You had told me that there seemed to be some type of a mist around it, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
explain. I want you to explain that to me right now.
Okay. As I was filming and using the naked eye, I noticed that it had a weird, some kind of mist around it, or ring, or
Take your
some
time
kind
with
of
that. Tell
some
me
kind
what.
of uh, I don't know, like a force field. I don't know. It was really weird. Not so much. Um, and it was almost like in the beginning of it, I couldn't see it. It was like when it would, what I thought, turn or do its thing,
Mm-hmm.
like do a 360, or kind of propel forward a little bit. Um, it's not till about where it gets by the trees and all that is when, and in between the trees is where I noticed the mist, or whatever you want to call
Okay.
it, around it.
Okay. So, but you did see what you perceive as a mist around it. All right. So here's
Yes.
here's what I want you to do, and it's kind of weird. It makes a difference how close your body or your face is to what you're looking at. So
Uh-huh.
I want you to lean forward and look at the picture on the left, the original raw video. Then I want you to lean back and see what it does. Do you see as you lean back what's happening?
Oh, wow.
You see that, right?
That's crazy.
Because that's exactly what I saw. So whoever else is watching this now has to do the same thing. You lean in close, and God, that's hard to see. You lean back, and
Oh,
look what
man.
you can see. You can see, and if you move your head around, you can see that mist. Can you see that?
Yeah, it almost like it gets bright in certain areas around it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Okay. So that is I did not do anything to that raw video except put it in, zoom it in, and then snap a good still frame out of the video to use as this comparison. So do you see what I'm talking about? You move in close and it starts getting
Yeah,
blurrier. You
I'm doing
move
it.
back.
it.
Crazy, huh? And if you
That
move your
is
head
nuts.
around, you can see that glow moving around, huh?
And it's almost like the object itself moves when you move your head.
Yes. Now,
That's weird.
focus on the Photoshop levels adjusted, and you see what I've discovered. And I do this when it calls for to be able to, it's hard. It was hard to see that. You have to manipulate it, but all
Mhm.
I'm doing is just bringing in the highlights and the darks and compressing them to be able to bring detail out of the shadows. Okay, so now
Right.
look close at that Photoshop version, and you can see there's that egg
Yeah.
with what would be I don't know what it is, man. I'm still there's
Me
nobody.
either.
There ain't nobody. They're on TV shows saying they know what it is and they're from another dimension. Nobody knows what this is. But I
Right.
know that there's something going on, and you can see you've got an oval. I in 2001 took a picture of 3 of these things.
Hmm.
They were over Sparks. I had an office in Sparks, 11:30 in the morning in Tuesday in 2001, and three of these things were in formation over me, and I took 12 pictures
Oh,
of them, and the pic with my naked eye, it looked like the picture on the left, the mist
right.
around it, and I can see it, and I'll put it up. I'm going to edit this down so you can see what I'm talking about, my picture, but it's so similar to this. That's why I'm taking an interest in it. Okay, and
Okay.
then so you look at the levels adjusted in Photoshop, and you can see that it's a hard, solid something that has a glow around it. All right, is
Yeah,
that
it's
so? You're
crazy.
seeing what I'm seeing, right? And you can do
Yeah,
the same thing. Look at the Photoshop version, and then kind of move your head, and you
it
can
does the same thing.
does the same thing.
It's like
Isn't
the small. There's the dark part, and then just on the outside of the dark part, there's that little blue ring, and if you go in and out, that almost gets bigger and smaller.
yeah.
I don't know, man. My
Okay, so
eyes are
all right, now here's the next thing. So you understand what you're looking at. You know that I have not doctored your raw video,
right. I
but I
didn't do anything to the video either. Yeah,
yeah, it's just is it as it is in comparison, bringing the detail out of shadows on the right. All right, so let's
yeah.
go. I've got something else I want to show you right quick here. You see that?
Whoa, what's that?
All right, you tell me you can see this.
I can see it.
All right, what I did, I took not the doctor. This is now back where I took what we dropped in and I got the still frame off of your video. Okay. I went in and I did what's called motion stabilization. And what it amounts to is you were panning and moving and it was moving around in the frame. I was
Yeah,
able to center it. So for this length of video, I can't remember how long it is, 18 seconds, 20 seconds, a portion of it from the video, your video, I stabilized it so you can see it. It's video moving, but it's stuck in the center, and because it's stuck in the
okay.
center, you can see movement, and
Okay.
you can see that mist you're talking about. So here we go. I'm going to play it, and I want your opinion of this. Here we go.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, and it's the mist gets brighter on one side. It's like going around the whole object
Yeah.
as it's. I don't know if that's because
Keep
it's
watching. Keep
turning.
watching now. Yeah. So that is that. We'll play that again. So that was basically the piece I could pull and stabilize the motion. So we'll play it again here. So watch it again.
Wow.
Okay. All right, you still there? All right.
Yeah,
So
I'm here.
now that you've seen that, and there's processing. Obviously, it's in After Effects, and I've stabilized it, but I didn't do anything else to it. So I want your impression now of what you saw. Tie it in to visually what I was looking at. So tell me.
It's that brought everything into perspective for the naked eye for myself. Um, with being able to see the glow, the mist, whatever it is around it. Because at first I thought it was just off of the camera or or I don't know. You know that I'm baffled right now, man. I don't even know what to think.
Oh, and that's okay, dude. Don't worry about that.
Um,
I mean, that's
um, I mean, I witnessed it with my own eyes, and it's basically when you broke it down right there is not as close as, but I could see that with my naked eye. I don't know how else to
Okay.
explain it.
All right.
It's
So the evidence is there. It's there.
yeah.
And so I want to know. Since then, I mean, what is your? I want to say your stability. Are you freaking out here? Is this causing? I don't want this to cause problems at home. This, So where are
It's
you at?
it's
Are you?
it's nothing like that. I'm just it. Sometimes when I'm out there, it's a little weird. I've spent most of my life in the mountains,
Mm-hmm.
either being alone or whatever. It's nothing like that. It's just in the back of my mind now. Like what I witnessed is like it's unidentified. So it's there's no telling what it was. So that's the only creepy thing about it. And then being out there by myself, the other night, I think I told you,
Go ahead and
briefly.
tell us. Tell me.
Yeah. Um,
So set it up. So this is after this event, okay, and it
yeah,
was after you initially talked to me, correct?
yeah, it was,
And I told you, keep a lookout, but be careful. All right.
right.
And then, so what happened following after that?
I'm pretty sure it was, St. Patty's Day,
So it'd be the
um,
17th. Okay.
17th. And I would say it was already dark. I was heading back towards the base at one of the highest points of the trail where we have a repeater that they use for, walkie talkies to communicate with each other. It's the highest point of where we go, basically. And this has never happened in this snowcat, um, to me at all since I've the what 4 months I've been doing this. Anyways, um, at one point the speakers got real crackly and started crackling, and the music started. It was a song I've heard a million times. Started like almost intertwining with itself. If that makes any sense, it was just really. It was all over the place. It wasn't the song, and then let me point out that there was no winds that night. It was a very calm, nice night. I had
Mm-hmm.
actually just been out of my cat maybe 5 minutes before that, and I took off, and that's when it occurred. The wind, the snow blowing around me, and then I stopped the snowcat and was like, "What's going on?" And I freaked
Wait, why did you stop?
because I wanted to get more of like my bearings. Like, what else is it windy everywhere? Is it? And it almost just seemed to be like around me. I couldn't really see. I have a big spotlight. I was looking around,
Mm-hmm.
and then I got
Wait a
really.
minute, wait a minute. Is this unusual? I mean, or
Yeah,
is this
well, I
just
looked
your
at the.
mind now? I got to know.
No,
Is this
no, no.
just your
This
mind
was.
now?
I
You know,
even went to the weather channel. I mean the weather app to see what the winds were that night, and the wind that was blown like misting around me and moving was not. It was way more than what the winds were calling for. I know I'm at 7,000 feet in the mountains, and anything could happen. It wasn't so much the wind; it was what happened with the electronics in the snowcat with the
right.
speakers
Was it
cracking.
at the same time as this
Yes.
wind anomaly is the same at that same time something was going on with the electronics in the snowcat?
Right. And at that
Okay.
point, when the wind kicked up, I stopped, like I said, to just see like maybe if I could see stuff further away blowing.
Right.
And then I was like, well, this is weird. And I kind of freaked out a little bit. And I was like, I'm out. And I started moving again, got maybe another 500 feet, and it was back. Everything was back to normal.
Okay. So I want you to explain to me the electronics. You did this before, but this is for everybody else to hear. So the music that you play, how do you play it? Is it just a little AM, FM radio
I
in the cat? Do you have an outboard that you tell me how that works? This is important.
right.
So how do you get the music into the snowcat and out through speakers? What do you do?
At this particular point, like I said, it's the highest point. I usually get good service there. I even get phone reception. I can call my wife or
Uh huh.
whatever. Um, But what I usually do is I have Spotify and I download the albums or the whatever before I get out. So when I
Right
don't
on,
have
so
service,
download onto your phone.
yeah, download through
Okay, so
Spotify,
so we take this simply here. So you've got Spotify albums
downloaded.
stored on
Yeah.
your phone.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
ready to
I don't have
go.
to use, um, I don't need to have service to listen to them.
Gotcha. Okay, so now you take your phone,
Uh-huh.
and do you take a cable and
USB
plug it?
cable
Explain
into
it.
the stereo, and basically, yeah, run from my phone through the USB, iPhone USB into the port on the stereo.
Okay, so did at the point where you say that all of a sudden there was breakup in sound, did you think it was, or could you point out, was it God just the snowcat stereo screwing up, or did
It
you
could have,
on the phone? Let me finish. On the
yeah,
phone, did the Spotify that is playing back? Did that screw up the? Did the phone go crazy? Or, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get
yeah.
that.
To be honest with you, I didn't really look at the phone. I kind of was just more like, what's going on? Like
Okay.
what's up with the music? If I remember correctly, I did not look at the phone,
Okay.
but
But
yeah,
okay, so it was just what garbled a little bit, but that's
yeah, like
what your impression was.
meshing in with each other, you know. Um, the
Okay.
music just got all in, like weaved in with each other. It was, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it was not playing the song I've heard a million times.
Gotcha. Okay, I understand. Okay, so, all right, and that was on the 17th.
Yeah,
Has anything occurred since then?
no, and I haven't had any like weird feelings or I don't know. I'm
I
kind
mean,
of
I
like,
don't wish it to happen. Okay,
yeah,
but you do, you need to be aware. I mean, you're in a specific area. It may never happen again.
right.
I mean, things like this, I mean, it's not uncommon. Somebody saw something and they want to see it again. I want to go back again. I want to go back again. And people keep going back. They never see it again. So that's part of this phenomenon, is that you can't rely on it to, it's going to be there tomorrow night. It's going to be there tomorrow
Right.
night. It's not. It never, there's rare cases where that's the case, and that's where you really need to hone down and investigate it. But so since then, you have not seen anything in the air, correct?
No, like the first couple nights after it happened, like I almost, like you said, I went back to that same exact spot, same time, just to be like, to see if I could see it again or whatever. And then I stopped doing that because I was like, I don't want to see that again. As eerie as it was, like like let it be, let it do its thing, whatever it
Right.
was. I don't want to, you know, I'm not that guy that's going to go out and keep trying to find it or whatever. Like I witnessed what I witnessed, and that's all I don't want to see it
Okay.
again.
I prefer you have a level head. It's very important. It's easy to go off the deep end, and you stay focused on work.
Right.
Okay,
I'm
stay
out in
focused on
very
family. All right, but
dangerous
still, I want
area.
you to keep an eye out.
Yeah.
All
Oh, I
right,
will.
but a level head. All right, that's
Yeah.
what's
I'm
important.
not going to
Is
go looking for it. If it wants me to see it again, then it'll show itself. That's how I'm looking at it. I have
okay.
a job to do, and like you said, I'm not going to go out and drive off the side of a mountain because I'm trying to poke around and find a uh, try and find it again.
Right. It'll come to you if it does. So
Right.
okay. So knowing that, so let's talk here. I want to go back. I'm going to share the view here. Bill,
Yeah.
I need to know. I would like to carry this further to try and investigate this to as best we can.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's cooperation. So this is where I need to know. I would like you to participate in a MUFON Mutual UFO Network sanctioned investigation. Are you
Okay.
good with doing that?
Yeah.
Tell me
I
the
mean,
truth. I mean, I
I would have.
never.
I would say no, Mark, if I wasn't. I think people need to see this, and it needs to be researched more. Like who knows what we are onto here. You know,
Yeah, well, it's it's been around a long,
right,
long, long time. Okay,
right.
so you're fortunate. I guess you could say you're fortunate that you saw what you saw.
Hmm.
Okay, so here's what I need from you. I
Hmm.
need you, as soon as convenient for you, to go to MUFON.com if you haven't already, and
I have.
there's a report form there.
Hmm.
This is the next step. We now have gathered, and I've prematurely done this to be able to get the testimony. Okay, so what's going to happen now, I can't do anything until you make the report, and then the
Okay.
chain of events will happen. Uh, the Nevada state director, now it might not, the event is actually in California, correct?
Yes.
That's, if we, put a pin on the map, it's in California.
Hmm.
Okay, so you have to be able to say where it's at, and if it's in California. So what'll happen is, it's whoever the state director in the state gets the email immediately. Soon as you make the report, boom, it lands. I used to be a state director, so this is how it works. I get the email in Nevada where I live. You live in Carson City, but you work there in California.
Yeah.
So the state director for the state gets the email and goes, "Oh, okay." And do I have a field investigator within that geographical area? And then it gets assigned. So that's we do this boots on the ground. I'm doing the boots on the ground right now prematurely, okay? But
Right.
the key is, excuse me, we have to have that physical report.
Okay.
And and just if anybody else is listening to this, it can be done anonymously. If somebody sees something and they're freaked out and they're afraid that somebody's going to come, whatever, no, you can make the report anonymously.
I'm
And we
not. I'm
we
not
can.
worried about that.
I'm not talking. I'm saying generally for anybody else
Okay.
listening, they have the choice that they can stay anonymous. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm glad that you are participating. Okay, and that we can use your name and follow forward. Okay, and once this goes, you're going to get attention.
Hmm.
All right, and I just want to cover that. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Because you've got something substantial. I'm not gonna kid you. I'm not
Yeah.
going to make any promises either. Okay, I
Whatever. I'm
told you
not.
that at the very beginning.
Right.
There's no
Right.
promises. Okay,
Right.
so I just got to know where that you're okay.
Yeah.
All right, and that your wife's okay. That's important to know. I have to know that. I don't. I hate. I never want to get anybody in trouble. I never want a family to rub each other the wrong way because of a UFO sighting. So I want to make sure that you're all good with that.
She's just as curious as I am, and
Okay, let's do
and
it. Let's do it properly then. Okay.
yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So that's the next step.
Hmm.
Is I'm hoping you have time to do it while this is
I
now fresh in your mind that you can.
Tomorrow when I wake up, I'm gonna go through the whole thing and make a report.
Okay. That's the next step, okay? I'm not going to release any of what we've just recorded until the report is made.
Yeah.
Okay, that the video is yours. We don't own it. It's called
Mhm.
chain of custody. We
Right.
need it to be able to get it to our science advisors. Okay, so I have to know, and let me just hear it from you right now that you're good that I'm able to distribute your video to our science advisors.
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right, so that's the chain of events and chain of custody. You will own it, okay? And I know that, and we're gonna broach this topic. I know that you had discussed that. God, I'd like to make some money off of this.
Do you know what? The
Okay,
more
well,
I think about that,
tell
it's
me, tell me.
it would be nice, whatever. But I'm more on the point of getting it out there and working
Okay.
with you guys and finding out like what this was, or maybe we'll never know what it was. But the curiosity, it's bring it to the attention of the people around the world, to let
Mm-hmm.
them know that we're not the only ones around here, like. it's there's more out there, you
Very
know.
good. Well, let's follow it by the book as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
Just take it step by step, get that report in,
Hmm.
and then because it's going to go to a state director, it's not going to go to me. So I
Right.
want you once you make the report, email me and say, Mark, I made the report. So let's just take it from there. Do you have any questions of me at this moment before we wrap up?
No, Mark, I don't think I do. If I do, I will touch bases with you through email or give you a jingle or whatever.
Okay.
But nothing off the top of my head right now.
Very good. So, have I treated you well as the sake
Yeah,
of me representing MUFON for you? Has
you're
this been?
it's relaxing almost, you know. It's being able to talk about it, you know, like I try to talk about it with my wife, and she is, you know, she's into it, but she's um it just it feels good to talk to you, Mark, and it's almost a sign of a relief. And
Good.
you've seen it too, or you know, we're in this, we're on the same page. Um we're good, man. Like, this is, I'm sorry if I'm rambling on right now,
No,
but
no.
this is all one big it's crazy, especially what I just, you know, what you just showed me. And
All right. Well, in closing, I'm going to say it again.
right.
Don't go off the deep end.
No, I won't.
All
I'm not
right.
that.
And my concern is if and when it goes public, you're going to start they're going to start reaching out to you, and it can get crazy. So you
Right.
just need to know just to keep a level head. All right. And
Okay.
if you see something else, please let me know. But
I
don't,
will.
I got to go up now at 2 o'clock in the morning, honey.
No, no, no.
You sleep while I drive out. No, don't do that. You need to
No,
go about your
I'm not
life.
going about. I
Okay.
can't afford to get hurt or lose my job or do something stupid,
Oh,
you know.
me neither. I understand. That's
Right.
why, from my heart, I got to, I'm involved in this now, and I don't want anything to happen to you or your family. All right.
Right.
So just level head. That's all I
Yep.
ask. Okay.
Yep. Thing, you know.
Well, it's the way I see it. You are more important than the event. In the
Right.
scheme of things, okay, some people go, hey, no, 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 no. It's this is important, but your health, your
Yep.
family is more important. And I want you to hold on. I keep repeating that, but it's just because I've seen it, and we don't
Yep.
want that to happen. We want you to stay because we'll need you strong as a witness. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll be there.
All right, then I got to go. I got to actually get back to work here. So it's a
Okay,
pleasure
Mark.
talking to you. Make that report, and then we'll take it
Yep.
from there.
Cool. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it.
Happy to help. All right, you take care now.
All right, bud.